Hey everybody, here we are. It is a beautiful Sunday morning here, and I thought, why not do a little impromptu Lotro stream this morning? I'm here on the wretched hills of Angmar on the Treebeard server, playing as my High Elf Champion Penphalos, which for those of you who, you like cute stuff, Penphalos is how you say shoreless in Sindarin. Isn't that nice? So I'm just gonna stream for about an hour and talk a little bit about what's going on here in the Lord of the Rings Online, what's going on in my world, and kind of see what happens. You're joining me right here in the middle of the race to level 50. We're calling it slow because I have to have alliteration. We're gonna call it Slowtro Sunday since we are on the Treebeard server. And Slowtro is a pretty, popular term you see from time to time in the Lord of the Rings Online. Since there is so much content and so much group content, you find groups from time to time that will like to, group together, take it slow. They'll cap themselves out, maybe use the tortoise stone to make sure that nobody goes past the level that they need to get to. And you don't need that here on the Treebeard server because we, those of you who are not familiar, we're at 40% XP gain. So it's built-in Slowtro. And why am I calling it the Race to 50? Well, you want to know what? Because Tuesday, is it Tuesday? The 13th. Let's check the calendar here. Wednesday, the 13th, if I'm not mistaken. The Brawler is coming along with the new legendary item revamp. So I'm going to have all kinds of things to keep me busy on my main characters over on Landreval. And so the plan is, if I can, to get to level 50 before Wednesday, just to kind of settle things here on the old Treebeard server. And that way I can focus more on checking out the Brawler class and the new LI and getting my Burglar, my Bjorning all sorted out. And there it is. The way I can kind of close this window. What am I supposed to do? Task call. He's right there. Why can't I not talk to him? Oh, we're lagging out. That's why. We're lagging out, boys and girls. Let's see if I got any superfluous windows open. I can mitigate that. Let's close some of these windows here. Right. There we go. Sure, I'll kill some crawlers for you, buddy. No worries. So anyway, that's the goal. See if we can hit 50 and get into some of the endgame stuff. There's not really a rush because even if I don't hit 50 this week or this month, the speculation is that based on the way things have been going for Treebeard, the Treebeard server, we won't hit Moria until like probably Christmas. So that gives me, essentially like 2 months to get caught up and get to experience the end game, because that's really the main appeal to me for enjoying the Treebeard server. It's because I beta tested the game. I didn't really sub after it went live. The Lotro bug didn't really bite me until just before Moria, which back in 2008. Look at these boys; they're just having a little nom. Having a little drinky drink. We shan't disturb them. So by the time I had a max level character, we were well into Moria. And so I didn't really experience the end game properly. Angmar was more like a blip on the old radar than anything else. I didn't do, we did the epic story. We did, let's see, what are the other ones? Did a little bit of Karn Doom. Did Urugarth. Never really did the Rift properly. I don't think I've ever completed. I have a vague memory of doing the Rift one time, but we were over leveled. And so my hope is to hit that endgame level sooner rather than later, so that I can get into some of the endgame, the original Shadows of Angmar endgame, before Moria drops. Because I spent a lot of, because when Moria and then Mirkwood hit, that was like the heyday for me. That's when I had like 5 max level characters, and I was running instances every week and all that stuff. So I'm well experienced with the end game of Moria and Shadows of Mirkwood. Is it Shadows of Mirkwood? Yeah. When you play enough Lord of the Rings Middle Earth games, all the random titles seem to bleed together. So I couldn't remember if Shadows of Mirkwood was from the card game or from this game. But that's where I had the most experience. So I'm going to be okay if I'm not super prepared for the next phase of Endgame on the Treebeard server. But I would like to get some of that done before then. Hope everybody's doing good this fine morning. Hope you're getting lots of gaming in. I will not let the rain interfere with my concentration. Thane, how are you now? As they say, the hills of Angmar are not friendly to the unwary. We make our stand here by this tree. So one thing I read, that popped up on Twitter recently that I've been thinking about, that I haven't had the time to properly research, is somebody tweeted about how you don't really get to see the quote. What is the exact quote? It's from the intro to the film, where Bilbo says something about Middle Earth being full of strange creatures beyond count, and somebody was lamenting the fact that we don't really see that. And so I wondered if that quote was from the book or strictly in the movie. And I thought about all the strange creatures beyond count that we see here in Lotro, like these hill beasts, or like the many bizarre looking critters that are going to be popping up for Gundabad. So I need to get into that quote, see if that's actually from the books from the movie. TD Grouse checking in. How are you now? Thank you, Thane. Thane is wishing me luck here in this high-level area. I'm actually a little over-leveled already. Ironically enough, I'm somehow out-leveling Treebeard. I think some of that is because I'm really trying to take advantage of the format of the server and make sure I get I'm basically trying to get all the content done. I'm not doing all the deeds yet, but I am definitely getting all the quests. And so I was doing Misty Mountains with my friend, my boy Langfast, but we weren't able to sync up our schedule. So I didn't want to finish Misty Mountains. So I went back to Trollshaws, did all of Trollshaws. I'd already done all of Evendim, and I think all of Evendim. And then I also had the XP booster from my Gundabad pre-order. And then I'm still using this doohickey here, the old Deruth Stone from way back when the Rohan expansion came out. So even though it is a slow leveling server, I'm doing what I can to break that and cheat my way around that. And so even though I'm just now arriving in Angmar, I'm on kind of the second wave of quests. I'm a little bit over leveled, which I kind of like. People like to complain about this game being too easy. It can't be easy enough for me. Ah, yes. The classic struggle. The Shakespearean struggle between the Treve Duverdine and the Treve Galorg. It's like the Capulets and the Montagues. Although I will say that Angmar is a very memorable zone, because it's the first endgame zone, and it's an absolute hellhole. But also, it's one of the first times, I think it is the first time, if my LOTRO lore is correct, that you encounter one of these cultures that was basically invented by, at that time, Turbine. That being the Hillmen of Angmar. Because we have the Bree people, and that's pretty well sketched in the text. Obviously, you have the Hobbits and the Rangers and all that, and the other like settlements of men that we come across are really just Bree landers who are kind of like gone too far. So they're basically just kind of English bumpkins. But the Angmarim, or sorry, they're not the Angmarim, but the Hillmen of Angmar are the first one we encountered that they really developed on their own. And I believe they use Celtic language, and they're kind of based it on ancient Celts. And they did a good job. And we see that again later with the Dunlendings and the Icemen, the Lossoth. And when they do this kind of creative world building, they do a good job. But this is like the first time. Yeah, Thane, I'm with you. We are here for the slow content, even though I'm blasting through the quest text today. I've done this zone so many times. I'm pretty sure I remember it. But you know, even if we're here for, in my case, easy mode, you got to respect the folks who are here for the Mordorian airstrikes. For those of you who don't know, on both Treebeard and Shadowfax, you can choose to up the difficulty a wee bit, or a lot bit, as the case may be. And after a certain point, I don't know exactly which, because I haven't fussed with it. I'm on standard vanilla difficulty. Every once in a while, like maybe once a fight, there's just like an explosion that happens. So it kind of equips the bad guys with like rocket launchers, or that's my headcanon anyway. So the Mordorian Air Force comes to get you. If you like a little extra spicy LOTRO. Sorry I'm lagging so hard. I don't know if it's me or the servers or what, but I'm hitting a lot of lag spikes today. So hopefully it's not messing with the stream too bad. Air Force is also one of my favorite things that the Tolkien professor he didn't coin that phrase, but if you ever watch any of his stuff, I recommend the Wired videos he did for Wired.com in particular, because they're nice and concise. If you get into like the Signum U and Mythgard stuff, there's so much content. There's so much that you kind of don't know where to begin. At least for me, it's quite overwhelming. But if you get into those Wired videos, he talks a little bit about the quote-unquote Air Force. He's debunking the annoying and persistent thought that the Eagles could have just dropped the ring into Mount Doom. And his point is that Mordor has an Air Force too. There's lots of reasons why, even within the fiction of the text, that the Eagles couldn't do that. Foremost of which is, of course, the winged beasts. The Mordorian Air Force, as he calls it. And that phrase always tickled me. Thane, you're on episode 28 of the Tolkien Professor. Is that right? What am I doing over here? Tarkrip. Here we go. This is what we're here for. We've got to burn the flags. That is something I wish more Tolkien games or Middle-earth games would kind of take advantage of. Because if you read certain parts of the text... Oh, the Exploring Lord of the Rings. Okay. Do you recommend that thing? Because that one's been on my radar for literally years. it just seemed like such a commitment that I wouldn't take the bait. So you enjoy it? I'm sure I've got you tabbing out of LOTRO to chat with me. Let's take a snack break. Shout out to Little Redhead. She was very kind and sent our whole kin all the food we need to hit those tasty food-related meta deeds, like so you can get the carnivore or vegetarian titles. But anyway, I was talking about how it would be cool to see more Middle-earth games take advantage of the sort of, I don't know what you would just, there's not an easy thing to just name it as, but in the text there are several moments in both the Silmarillion and the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings where an orc chieftain, for example, will be killed, and that kind of freaks out everybody else, all the other bad guys, so they scatter. I think in particular at the Battle of the Chamber of Marzabul, if I remember correctly, I think Aragorn kills the orc chieftain who's kind of leading the band and stabs Frodo, which was replaced by the cave troll in the movies. And after they kill the chieftain, all the other goblins are like, "Cheese it! They killed the boss!" And that happens quite a few times throughout the text, and it's, the sort of import of leadership is emphasized. And and if there's a game out there that's done that, I'd love to hear about it. But you don't really hear, I haven't seen a game set in Middle-earth where that's like a mechanic, where if you kill the boss, it demoralizes the others and kind of gets them out of play. There are so many dang Lord of the Rings games. I feel like there must have been one that has done it, but I haven't seen that in any of them yet. All right, need to get the standards, and I got to hop over to Burzum Pushtug. Don't even get me started about Burzum the band. Thane's talking about the Tolkien Professor show. Are those up on YouTube, or do they publish them like a podcast? Speaking of podcasts, new episode of Beneath Your Feet is available, released yesterday. Also put it up on the YouTubes. We're getting pumped up for Gundabad by looking at Elder Slade. Too much coffee, not enough water this morning. Well, that's very good. I'm going to check those out because I've listened to his stuff piecemeal, and obviously he has a show on LOTRO stream, which is very cool. But the Exploring Lord of the Rings sounds pretty good. I think, who was I talking to? Talking to somebody. I can't remember if it was a LOTRO friend or one of my other Tolkien nerd companions, but they were talking about how there's so many episodes that, in the Exploring Lord of the Rings, he's on episode astronomical number, but they're still only in book 1 or book 2 or something. So I enjoy that level of detail. And of course, Corey Olsen is a great speaker and teacher, so it's always a treat to listen to him. All right, there is more stuff up this way. I don't think we actually need to go up there, so we're going to get these jerks off our backs and then hit the road. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope you're off to a great start so far on this Sunday morning. I'm taking a little break from my schmuppage to see how many levels I can get here on the Treebeard server before the Brawler / LI Legendary Item revamp hits the main servers on Wednesday. Although I guess there are several kinsfolk here on Not So Hasty that are planning on playing a Brawler on Treebeard, which sounds good, but I just do not have the time or patience to level anybody else up. So I'm going to be a lazy kid and use the level boost on the Brawler on Landreval on my main server. But then later today, the other thing I like to stream is Schmups, shoot 'em ups, shooting games, STGs, aka old-timey games for you kids. It's an old person thing. And one of my favorite shmup YouTubers, the Shmup Junkie, is launching a caravan event this in just about 3 hours. So if you like old-timey gaming, You might want to check back here. I'll probably be streaming lots of practice streams for that one. All right, let's go to Burzum Pushtug. What does Burzum mean in the black speech, besides being a rowdy, inappropriate black metal band? I think it's in the Ring verse, isn't it? Here we go. Hey! Oof. There's characters taking a header off their horses is never not funny. Get off me. Yeah, and speaking of trying to keep Treebeard, I mean, LOTRO in general, as easy as possible, Champion does have that effect. My weapons aren't even that good. I think I'm just using quest drops right now, and it's the high DPS is nice. Not to mention the ability to stun once a fight. Very nice. All right, snack break. And, of course, as a scholar, I'm well equipped with the Scrolls of Battle Lore. Is that a band, Battle Lore? You did not have a good experience with shoot-em-ups, Thane? See Thane. Oh yeah, Thane's right there. Kill the orcs, destroy the orcs, kill all the orcs. That would be a fun way to zazz up the streams, because I prefer to have like a theme to a stream. So on LOTRO stream, I do the Beneath Your Feet research stream. And then I used to do, over the summer, back when I had time, I was doing the level 1 adventures, where I had the level 1 character that I did not level up. So this might have to be the karaoke stream. We have some music going in the background. There's a guy, what was his name? There's a streamer I liked who would do that for a while. He'd have the music cranked while he was playing LOTRO or whatever, and he would just be singing. And he always said, sorry, not sorry, and I thought that was hilarious. Alright, we need skirmishers and warriors. There's that. And where's the skirmishers? Where are you, skirmisher? Shmupping definitely takes some practice. But there's so many... If you haven't shmupped since back in the day, there's the style is quite different. And there's so many games now that will kind of hold your hand a little bit. Or they at least have a super easy mode. And there are so many... spiders! There's so many YouTube tutorials and things like that. So if you have a decent gamepad or arcade stick... Now is a great time to get into the shmup. It's a nice change of pace if you're playing a lot of LOTRO. Because certainly there are elements of LOTRO that require some reflexes. Like getting into a big stupid fight like I am now. Oh god! Requires some reflexes. But it's such a different style of gaming. It's nice to change it up. Back, foul beast! I like having an AoE build, but it's just not choppy enough. You do get the Shing Shing, which is incredibly important. People forget, but that direct damage is makes your day a little bit better. Where are my pots? Oh, here we go. All right, we need 2 more archers. Then we can get up out of here. There he is. Get him! Speaking of different gaming styles, I often wonder if I would play MMOs at all if it weren't for LOTRO. Because back in the day, you know, really from Meridian 59 through the Lord of the Rings Online, that's all I played because I loved the idea of online gaming. So I played EverQuest, Meridian 59, WoW, Eve, Anarchy Online, all those games. But now that I'm old, now that I'm just kind of I don't know that I'd play them anymore. Because I love LOTRO, obviously. It's super fun. It's a good game mechanically. But I don't know that I would play it if it weren't Tolkien. If it didn't do such a good job with the lore. I might just be playing Schmups all the time. Or cozy games. Okay, this is silly. Where's the last archer we need to fight? This is classic old-timey MMO nonsense, speaking of which. They have the one last guy you got to find, and he's like out there having a bathroom break on the far side of the map. All right, let's get reckless. Put our metal to the test. Dude, where is he? Okay, there he is. Okay. I may have no, we're fine. This is fine. Make sure I'm on the healer here. Take him out first. Yeah, Eve is literally a second job. Like, people joke about that, like, especially as the Lord of the Rings has worked on the legendary item revamp. You see those complaints come out like, oh my gosh, I'm working so hard on my LI, it's like a second job. It's like, no, it's not. Eve is a second job. Like, if you ever watch any Eve live streamers, they all have, like, it's always a 2-monitor setup because the game is, you have the game going here and then you have, like, Netflix here. Right? Thane's talking about doing spreadsheets for Eve. And it's like, yeah, if you want to dominate the interstellar market on canned goods, you're going to be spending more time on Excel than you are exploring the vast corners of the universe. So the last time I played Eve, this is probably like 5 years ago, it was just this terrible experience because I was desperately want to play it, and I loved how beautiful the ships were and how the space nebulas looked so cool, and I just wanted to explore around and stuff, but it was so time-consuming. So it was this like abusive relationship I had with Eve Online. And so when I finally decided to give it up was after I tried the Explorer build. They had totally redone it, so I was all excited. Like, you can actually legitimately play as an Explorer now. And who's that? We have a friend. You could legitimately play as an Explorer. And there was like a hacking minigame, and you had to like buy probes and triangulate the location of certain, like, yeah, cans of beans and like desiccated hamsters and whatever the heck else was out there. And so I like got myself all equipped as best I could with my meager means, and then went out to some random mid-level security sector, and I get all excited. I get my probes going, and I'm ready to hack into something, and then 10 seconds later some pirates just obliterated me and ruined my day. I said, never again, Eve. Never again. Yes. That's really, if you think about it, pardon me, if you think about it, that's really what would solve all these interstellar wars, is if everybody could just settle down and share a can of baked beans together. You forget when you're just a galactic empire trying to carve out your niche in the wide universe. You forget the simple things of life, like sitting around a campfire eating a can of beans. But then I guess that wouldn't make for a very fun game, would it? All right, I'm pretty sure some quests are going to lead me out this way. Look at that nasty Angmar skyline. The weather out here, I tell you. Oh man, I wasn't able to take a screenshot, but I had a cool little glitch yesterday. I was coming out of caves over here between the Ram Duath and then Angmar proper, and the sky was like half that green color, half regular sky. Like it was like the filter or whatever hadn't loaded properly. And then before I could take a screenshot, it corrected itself. So anyway, some quests are definitely going to eventually lead me out here, but I want to go ahead and take care of this anyway. What I'm doing is Book 6, Chapter 4. This is the bit where you're helping the Rangers to find out what the heck happened to Galadir. And the real issue is that there are these giant warding stones, these statues, like the Watchers at... oh, I'm blanking. What's this? The Tower of Cirith Ungol. It's like that kind of thing happening. And they can't get past them. And so our job is to get past them by doing a thing. We're going to collect a heart from a lifeless watching stone so we can actually get past this. So those of you who have not played this before, you're just experiencing this thing on Treebeard or Shadowfax for the first time. Oh, so many stories to tell. So many stories. Because if you... Okay, I'll just tell you. I was going to show you, but... Because if you try to run past, not the lifeless one, but the big ones, the big boys over here. Let's show you real quick. Come on, Kingley. Faster, faster. If you try to get past these dudes over here, you're dead instantly. And I even came back at max level. I'd never taken my Bjorning out here. I never did Angmar on my Bjorning, and so I said, I'm going to go back and do the epic. I'm level 130. I'm a big boy. And I thought I could just walk past them. Not so much. So even if you're maxed out, they're going to get you. And many a life has ended thanks to those ridiculous stones. And so to get past them, you have to complete this part of the epic. I completely agree. Everyone's, losing their minds over New World, because that's the new MMO hot shot. I have zero desire to play that game, so I'm curious to see how they have iterated on the MMO model, but the setting has zero interest for me, especially barring the inadvertent colonial baggage. Foregoing that, the setting has no interest for me, and I just don't care. I don't really want to start over in another MMO. So yeah, I'm with you, Thane. Every time I think about trying a new MMO or one catches my interest, I'm like, I don't really want to do that. And also, I'm here for the lore, baby. I'm here for the hobbits. Oh gosh, we're about to get bombed. I want to be in the world where there are hobbits and lobbing goblins and rangers and dwarves and all that Tolkien goodness. What else should we talk about? Although I will say Ashes of Creation caught my eye, and I'll tell you why. One of the great aspirations of my life, I'm a man of great ambition, so one of my great aspirations is to start my own inn or tavern in an online game. Yeah, I know. And you can kind of do that in LOTRO. So if you ever happen to find yourself on the Oxbury neighborhood in Breeland on the lovely Landreval server, pop on over to High Road and you'll find the Black Fox Inn. And that was my one attempt at creating an inn. It looks great. There's kegs, there's food, but it's not really the same as running an inn that is functional. And Ashes of Creation seems so far, even though they're in whatever comes before alpha, like post-omega, pre-alpha, even though they're in the early stages of the game, there's a lot of talk and a lot of promise about what we might be able to do with the inn system, and it looks very cool. So it's drives players there mechanically because they're special. Hello. This has been happening to me a lot. I don't know if any of you other Treebearders have had this happen. I don't think it's happened to me on Landraval. But that's weird. I just get that black screen from time to time. Anyway, the in-system drives players there mechanically because there are certain buffs you can get. There are certain jobs or quests you can only get by going to a tavern, and they're incorporating like a party game kind of thing, and dancing, and actual like games of chance and things like that. So it looks very cool. It looks like they have high intentions for the inn. And even if you don't run an inn, you get your own space in the game world in Ashes of Creation. You can farm and things like that. So if that actually plays out, there's a strong chance I'm going to check out Ashes of Creation. Best description of New World is AAA RuneScape. Now that's funny. I wonder if that's true. My brother's playing it, so if I get any insights from him, I shall share them next time I stream, whenever that might be, since I stream so infrequently. Ithilkor. That's a good cloak, actually. Maybe. I'm undergeared, friends. It is a pity that this heart is broken, but there may yet be another path open to us. While you were away, some of the villagers returned from a hunting expedition and told of a ritual being performed at Tor Galvin, a fortress to the northeast. Yeah, I'll get there when I can. I need to sell. Yeah, I need to sell. Zoop. Zoop. Always remember, friends, the best part of staying a VIP is this item right here. Don't need any of this stuff, so bye-bye. If I were just made a time and I could just do my silly hobby stuff for a living and still feed my wife and kids, I would definitely start a stream series or YouTube channel that was Marie Kondo-esque inventory management, because I hear that's another thing I hear a lot about, a lot of complaints on, is just getting cluttered, especially this stage of the game, like through level 50. Seems like after Moria, Mirkwood, into Rohan, they kind of figured out how to do this and have loot drops and vendor trash without clogging up your inventory. So like doing Minas Morgul and things like that, like I never had that problem. But even now, like I always keep a clean inventory. So it might, if I were made of time, that would probably be the thing I would put that towards. But then again, there's people who just don't have as much bag space. Carryalls are in fact awesome. I only have 2 on my main burglar for farming, because farming and cooking is ridiculous when it comes to storing items, but they are very nice. Ridiculous. All right, we're going to wrap things up here in just a minute, now that we've reached the end of our questing. That's a good one, a stealth level. So thank you guys for stopping by for this impromptu fun little stream. Thanks for chatting with me. And let's see. Oh yeah, I definitely need that. That's a 2-hander though. All right. Well, hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy. Don't forget to log into LOTRO on Wednesday to check out the LOTRO or the Legendary Item Revamp and the Brawler. And don't forget to check out Beneath Your Feet podcast. See you guys later. Bye.